All it takes is a little bit of effort to separate yourself from the average person. Being willing to do the more mundane, inconvenient, the more difficult things will set you apart in the best way. We live in a time where it's I am who I am, take me or leave me, accept me as I am, or not at all. But don't you want to see what you're capable of? Aren't you curious about who you would be if you reached your full potential? If I look good now and I feel okay, what would happen if I started watching my food intake? Maybe hit the gym a couple times per week, start stretching, start therapy like I've been thinking about, really get to know myself and who I am and what I want for myself. If I started journaling, if I started meditating, what if I read a few books to strengthen my intellect to become a better speaker? What if I studied and perfected my craft, the thing that I'm passionate about? What if I improved my hair, my sense of style, or makeup if I choose? What if I really brought the look together? Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Vividly Vocal, the podcast for the ones finding their voices again. I like to believe this podcast is for people who want to be exceptional. I personally don't aspire to be average, though many people fight to be average and assimilate in the world. In my younger years, for most of my life, I wanted to just be like everybody else, but I always stood out like a sore thumb or was always called out or was isolated from the herd. And I think that was by design. And lately, I've just come to realize that I don't want to live an average life. I want to live an extraordinary life in so many senses of the word. Lately, I've just been so tired of being surrounded by excuses. I wake up and go do the hard things every day. I go make my money. I sacrifice the things I want to do in favor of the things that I must do in order to put myself in a better position. And many people aren't willing to do that. Many people aren't willing to show up. And I'm going to be honest with you. You can and will scare the people around you once you start putting that effort into yourself. There are some people that will resent you for trying. There are some people that will resent you for bettering yourself because now the dominant opinion is that it's not cool to try. It's cringe to try. There are people that will resent you for your work ethic. They will resent you for having the audacity for striving for a better life. And you must not let it deter you. Your mission takes priority above all for whatever you're trying to achieve, regardless of public opinion. And I learned that lesson when I was very young, almost too young. It saddens me that people will act that way towards you when you are young. People will resent you for working hard. People will resent you for studying. Why? Because you're applying yourself and doing better than they are. And you know what? People get really upset when you don't fit in the box that they have designed in mind for you. But you know what? That's not your problem. I can't live with myself knowing all the possibilities that are out there if I put myself out there and put my all into things if I don't try in the first place. Those are the worst types of regrets to have, that if you didn't give it a shot, what would have happened? What could have been? That eats me up inside. For example, people are fighting for their right to wear bonnets and pajamas in public. Sure, by all means, if you'd like, but I won't partake. And some may argue that, oh, you just want to perform for the world. Some things aren't about being enough for the world. It's about knowing that the vision of my life that I have for myself requires more from me. And presentation is part of that. Putting effort into your appearance tells yourself first and foremost that you are worth the effort. You're worth the inconvenience. You are worth the time it takes to look decent. Do I put on a ball gown every day? No, I don't. But at the very least, I'm going to put on a shirt, shoes, do my hair before going out into the world. I remember in the early days, every time I tried to record a video in a bonnet, the footage corrupted or the sound was distorted. And then after I stopped trying to record in that state, I would get off, put some clothes on, do my hair, maybe a little bit of makeup, and the footage, everything recorded perfectly. And I realized, I guess I'm not supposed to represent myself in that manner. Divine interference, I guess you could say. But Never say never. Maybe there will be a day where I have to get a message out at like 2 a.m. and you'll see me in a bonnet on TikTok. I don't know. But I try my hardest not to present like that. And I realize that if I'm going to take this platform seriously and be taken seriously in a space, I need to take myself seriously. So I try to look cute for y'all. And if I want this platform to go the direction I want it to go, I have to give it my all. As with many things in life. Now, you can see me at many different weights on here, and the camera definitely does add 10 pounds. So, I've been on my weight loss body recomp journey for the past year or so. And I had to accept that when it comes to losing weight, it's as simple as calorie deficit, exercise, and time. There's no way around it. Part of me was like, what if it's just a waste of time? Like, what if it doesn't work for me? What if, I put in all that effort for nothing? And I told myself, if you don't see a difference in 3 months, stop. You can do whatever you want to do. Just at least say you tried. I saw results in 2 months, 8 weeks to the day exactly. Now I'm still trying to get to my goal. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm glad that I took the time. I made the effort, all the meal prepping, of workouts, all the days of getting 7 to 10,000 steps per day. It was worth the time and worth the effort. And that's what most people are not willing to give is effort. And you know what show I've been watching a lot recently? My 600-pound life, not to laugh at anyone or to make fun of anyone. It taught me how to not make excuses or be a slave to my vices. It's more of like a psychological study for me. How do people get in this position? Though a lot of the time it is extreme trauma that causes them to go into that state to rely on food for a coping mechanism. And I also watched a show recently called 1,000 Pound Roomies. I think they're coming out with a second season soon. But I've been learning about the debilitating effects of being overweight or obese. And it's not even to be mean or nasty or laugh at anyone. It's truly a disease. I have a family member, diabetes absolutely ruined them. Diabetes has become kind of just a joke amongst people, but it's real. It attacks every part of your body. It can turn a simple cut into an infection. And I was a fast food baby growing up. I was a very picky eater, and you can't bounce back as good as you did when you were like 17, 18 years old. And I just want to make changes before I start developing those problems, right? I was a very picky eater. Now I eat vegetables, I go on walks, salmon, chicken, oatmeal all the time. Am I perfect in my diet? No, I just had Popeyes the other day because it was my cheat meal. But I had to learn how to lose weight on my own. I had to put in the effort. Nobody taught me about serving sizes and portion control and calorie counting. So I had to learn for myself. And I'm going to tell y'all, TikTok is a wealth of knowledge. Like, I learned how to work out from TikTok. I learned what exercises target what muscles. And I'm not going to say I learned solely from it, but that it put me on the right path. Right. It introduced me to working out, fitness, meal prepping, meal planning. Of course, not everybody is a doctor. Don't take your medical advice from them. I've done a few diets before. And what really made me stick to my plan this time was that I wanted to lose weight more than anything. I wanted to lose weight more than I wanted to have variety in what I'm eating. I wanted to lose weight more than having a fried meal every day. I wanted my health more than anything. And again, I'm not perfect. And I think the key is to make sure you enjoy what you're eating, but it really does come down to counting your calories in, calories out, and time. Give yourself time. I'm not at my goal yet, but I'm in a much better position than I was about 9 months ago. I didn't take progress pictures on this journey because part of me felt like I'm just going to fall off the wagon anyway, but I didn't. So I took one picture at the start of my journey, and I've made so much improvement compared to where I started. This year and last year, I've really started to make an effort to connect with and nurture my beauty. Connecting with my beauty is so spiritual for me because I was denied my femininity for most of my life, access to that part of myself without criticism. Connecting with my beauty has been so healing for me in ways I cannot begin to describe right now because that's not what the episode is about. I'll have to make another episode about that. But glamour is part of your presentation. The spaces that I want to be in require me to look the part as well. And the same may be true for you. I believe that everybody has a gift. You might be able to sing or play music or you can draw, paint. Me personally, I have my brain and my beauty and my voice. And I realize that I'm handicapping myself by not utilizing my beauty to my advantage. Somebody commented on one of my videos and said that I love your videos because you're nice to look at and you speak facts. And I'm like, period, that's what I do. So I try. I try really hard in all areas of life. I give it my all. I remember one night I was bored, so I just decided to get dressed up and go sit at the bar of this nice restaurant. It was somewhere I really wanted to try, but nobody would go with me. So I sat down, had my cute little lemon drop, had my cute little steak dinner, my little cute lobster bisque and whatnot. And during that meal, two people approached me. One of them ended up paying for my meal. One of the gentlemen said, "You're just out here by yourself tonight?" And I said, "Yes, I just wanted to come out, get out of the house and have a nice meal." And he said, "You don't see that every day. You decided to come out, have dinner by yourself, and you look absolutely stunning." And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. That's that's exactly what I did." The gentleman paid for my meal and I never saw him again. Period. And I've learned that many times you just have to go out into the world in order to receive some of your blessings. And that was a kind gesture. My little sister just got her first job, and I told her that all it takes is a little bit of effort to stand out. Show up, do what is asked of you, and a little bit more, and your superiors will recognize that. I remember when I first started my first job at a restaurant when I was 16 years old. All I did was show up every day on time with a good attitude, ready to work. They put me in the dining room position where you clean the tables and take out the trash and things. It was an independent position because nobody's looking over your shoulder all the time. As long as the dining room is clean, then you don't have a problem. And they always put me out there because other people could not manage that position. And of course, you're like, what's so hard about wiping tables? It isn't hard. You just got to stay on top of it. But many people could not even do that. And because I showed up, I didn't complain, I didn't argue. That set me apart from my peers, my coworkers, in regards to getting promotions, raises, awards, things like that. I forgot where this saying came from, but it was something like, if you're the janitor, make sure you're the best janitor you can be, or something to that effect. Basically, perform your job with pride, no matter what it is. I've just always been that type of person. I like to be competent. A lot of people are incompetent. I do my job. I do it well. I once spoke to somebody and she said something like, "I just want a job where I can show up sometimes, my attendance will be spotty, and get paid this amount." And I'm like, ma'am, what job is going to allow your attendance to be spotty? You can't show up at the very least. But no, many people cannot do that, which is why I say all it takes is a little bit of effort. But there's so many people that's not willing to sacrifice, to get uncomfortable in order to grow. And I think I made a video like this once where I said, you know exactly what you need to do. It's just about what are you sacrificing in order to get that. Everybody can daydream about living a life of luxury and lavishness, but what are you willing to do to get there? And many, they're not willing to do anything. Be willing to do the more inconvenient, the hard, the difficult thing in order to develop yourself and set yourself apart in the best way. Life is hard, y'all. It is. It's supposed to be hard. It's all hard. And I think we all have our own individual challenges that we have to face in this lifetime in order for our souls to be the best version of ourselves. But I'd love to hear your take on this topic. What are you currently working on? What are you striving towards? What is your ultimate goal in life? Have you noticed a difference in how you feel or how you're being treated when you present yourself differently or when you put a little bit more effort into yourself? I'd love to hear from you. Be vividly vocal in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening. As always, Vividly Vocal is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and every podcast platform. If you're on YouTube, please remember to subscribe, leave a like, and hit the notification bell. Thank you all so much for listening. I love you dearly. And please remember that as long as there's breath in your body, you have the ability to change your life for the better. I love you dearly. And once again, thank you. Goodbye, you guys.